I know that the title of this video might sound a little bit strong, the decline of Nei Gong and Nei Dan. But in one sense, this is what I really see. I would like to put it out there so that you can really reflect upon it a little bit for yourself and maybe make better decisions. I'm not trying to direct people interested in Nei Gong towards one direction or the other direction. I just want to reflect to one very simple thing. That nowadays, unfortunately, even in this kind of practices and disciplines, that if we think about this in the past, in the Chinese culture, this kind of, think for instance about Tai Chi, the kind of knowledge was transferred within a family. So the family was the container, so to speak, of the knowledge passing on to generation. While nowadays, basically everything has become a product. So this is what I'm trying to say with this video. That unfortunately, due to money, we have to be very careful, I think, in the way that we try to find a teacher. I'm not saying I'm a good teacher and this guy is a bad teacher, but by getting a little bit of experience of what it is out there, and actually first-hand experience, know the rumors said on Facebook groups and various other places which I don't even check because I'm just practice and I'm focused on what I'm doing and teaching. But I came to realize actually that there is lots of speculation around Nei Gong and Nei Dan practices, and even teachers out there sharing false informations about other teachers. Again, this video doesn't want to be who is this guy, what I should follow, other people are more trustworthy to learn from. It's just, let's say, a warning up video and something to reflect upon as well. Because in the past, probably these practices were taught in a way that they were part of systems that had a greater goal, not just to do a Fa Qi, Fa Gong, which is the emission of vital energy. The human evolution was at the center of them. And also the connection with the teacher was very important. The teacher was now accepting everybody. And sometimes I think still happens in Asia and China, this kind of process. However, because everything is more available everywhere at the moment, which is on one end is good, because we have the chance of learning stuff that before were just for a very few people who had to travel up on the mountain and be accepted by teacher and follow the system with great respect towards the teacher, discipline, humbleness, all great qualities that are getting lost because nowadays basically we go on YouTube or we go on any website, we buy a product and we do it by ourselves. We think we don't even need a teacher. And when I mean by teacher, I don't mean someone smarter or more intelligent or enlightened guy better than you. I mean somebody who can also incarnate some value, some moral values, some ethical values, plus the experience that a particular discipline might bring in terms of refinement. But we have to be careful because especially when we approach this kind of practices, especially Nei Gong and Nei Dan, which are seen in a very childish way by many people. In fact, in a good way, let's say, some people sometimes go straight somewhere else because I try to give another perspective together with the development of vital energy, and they prefer to go somewhere and buy some product or whatever and do it in this way, which at the end of the day it means my life gets easier because instead of dealing with people who don't really understand, I don't want to be pretentious but say life is a bit more than just doing a Fa Gong or Fa Qi. I get to work usually with nice people, and when there is no connection, usually we do WhatsApp call and somebody decides to go somewhere else. It's all fine with that. But what I'm trying to say is that there is, I think, a great decline, pretty much in any aspect, I think, of life, or most of it. I don't want to be dramatic, but these are the times we're living in, and money is ruling the game. So all the consequences that go with it, such as self-centered activities, such as lying to people, such as running a business, instead of actually understanding what a great responsibility is to pass on some practices and to be even unwantedly a model for the students, because this is what are going to happen. Although you don't want to be, let's say, somebody that your students have your eyes upon, and you know, at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. So I got to understand by first hand that sometimes there are teachers out there who don't even practice. I found out by myself, don't even practice what they teach. And I think this for me means a great deal of arrogance, because okay, maybe we have certain skills. It's like an engineer, you know, you learned how to build a house, so now you go, you start to teach people. But instead of expanding, because house is a very little thing, can become so many other things, instead of expanding on that path, you're just selling to people how to build a house. And I think it means that we are really narrowing down the whole process to something very shallow, in my opinion, which is, you know, just playing with vital energy and doing some demonstrations. And I got to know by understanding it firsthand, unfortunately, that they even talk badly about other systems. They even give false informations. Again, I'm not going to mention anybody here, because my goal is not actually to say, oh, come here, this is a good system, we are better guys, I'm a nice guy, whatever. It's just to make you understand that there are people out there misleading people just for the sake of money. And this is happening on the Nei Gong as well, Nei Dan, whatever you want to call this thing we do as energy practitioners. The other thing that I want to highlight is that surprisingly, most of the time students don't have simple access to the teacher, such as, you know, let's say you have questions, you have an experience you want to share. It's not so easy to call your teacher or to have a direct response in a timely manner. And I'm really surprised about that. I mean, I think I'm a really weird guy for these times. I totally believe that. That's why I don't relate too much to the way society is going, and I try to do my things in my own way, and hopefully sharing, well, not hopefully sharing actually with a good number of people. But we are losing something very important, and maybe I'm romantic, or maybe I have ideals that lead my life. We are losing that family, so to speak, connection, that trust, that you know that you have a teacher, somebody who can guide you on a specific path, that at some point, if you are mature enough, he becomes, I don't want to say almost your friend, but because you always, you will have a great respect, because that person is somebody you're learning from, but somebody you can count upon when it is needed. And this is something that is disappearing. It's disappearing completely. Again, because we just go on the web, we buy a course, and we do it on our own. And I think this is very sad. This is not the way, probably, I don't know much about it, because I'm not one of those geeky guys who goes researching about Chinese culture, all these things. For me are just practices. I don't even know the name sometimes, so what I do, I know what it does. I learn it properly and keep it as it is. But in the past, it was a family connection. It was a generation passing on kind of approach. And now everything is going away. And we get promised a quick result. And plus, you know, these guys are not practicing well, nobody has done anything here. So it becomes a marketing thing. So what I want to conclude in this video is, again, not to talk badly about anybody here, and not to say, you know, our system is better than any other system, but I just want to warn you. Just before you choose to study with somebody, make sure that everything sounds clean and reasonable. Make sure that that person is really interested into you, and not just your money. Make sure that you have direct access to the person when it is needed. Make sure that the person is actually practicing what is teaching. Make sure that all these things are into places, and make sure that the person, in my opinion, is an example of good contact and human expression in terms of values, in terms of way of living, of way of doing things. Because at the end of the day, guys, you can do a Fai Chi, and so what? You know, this is just a very little thing that you can do in your life, and actually if this is your goal, you're just gonna go into big egocentric inflation, which many people think that doing a Fagong means you are an enlightened being. No. You don't need to do any Nei Gong, Nei Dan, whatever you want to call this process to be an enlightened being. You just need to understand who you are, and for this you have other kind of studies and approaches which are totally missing sometimes into this Nei Gong, Nei qigong, Nei Dan path. That's why I try to compensate with this YouTube channel, and I also do monthly revision classes with my students where we go deeper into other themes, just to share teachings that can bring perspective into this very attractive, very unique, very powerful thing that we do, but that at the end, so what? If our life is not free from our mind, from our emotions, what's the point of all of this? In the end, we're gonna die, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna do Fai Chi before you die, and then what? So, please, I know that many of my students will be laughing maybe on this, but please, if you wanna have, I don't wanna say an advice, because everybody has to do whatever he feels to do, and everybody resonates with different people, and that's totally normal. But if you're kind of a little bit kind of insecure about how to go about finding a teacher, make sure that, you know, everything I said before makes sense, and not just be blinded by the promises, by the quick result, by all these quick and marketing tricks that we get told, because it doesn't mean anything of what we can do, it means what we are.